Pope Leo has begun the third day of his trip to Turkey by visiting a historic mosque in Istanbul. He joined Muslim leaders on a guided tour of the historic Blue Mosque. It's part of his call for interfaith dialogue on his first foreign trip as Pope, which will also take him to Lebanon. The Pope has also urged Christian unity on his trip. He's set to sign a joint declaration with the head of Eastern Orthodoxy. The two churches have been split for nearly 1,000 years. DW correspondent Julia Hahn is in Istanbul and can tell us more. Julia, how significant is the Pope's visit to the Blue Mosque?
Well, the Pope visiting the Sultanahmet or Blue Mosque here in Istanbul, which is one of Turkey's most important, is widely seen as a symbolic gesture of Christian-Muslim dialogue. As you mentioned, Leo XIV got a tour of the mosque. He was accompanied by the mosque's imam and Turkey's tourism minister. But unlike what was announced in the Vatican's official program, and unlike what Leo's predecessor, Pope Francis, did when he was here in 2014, Leo did not pause for a brief moment of silent prayer. Now, I will leave the interpretation as to why that happened or what it means to religious experts. But what I can tell you about the Sultanahmet Mosque is it's called also the Blue Mosque because of thousands of tiles it is decorated with that are predominantly in blue colors. It is also one of Istanbul's main touristic sites. Thousands of people are visiting the mosque and this area every day. Security measures are usually high, but today we saw many extra barricades and roadblocks because of the Pope's visit. Now, I should mention that the Pope's visit to Turkey has not drawn too much attention among the majority Muslim population here, but we got a chance to talk to some Muslim people yesterday here at this side. We asked them what they think of the Pope's visit and what their expectations are. Let's listen in.
A guest is always a guest. The Pope is visiting our country and he is welcome here. We will host him in the best possible way and send him back with a smile. He visited us on his first trip abroad, and that means a lot to us.
I just hope that this message, the visit of the Pope, will bring not only a good feeling, but good measures to stop oppression all around the world, especially in the Middle East and especially in Palestine.
Like we can live with each other, like we can live in peace with each other, no borders like.
There's no difference between Muslims and Christians since they're brothers. So there's no need for conflict, for any fights. Why have pain and trouble when we can live in peace?
Now, unlike his two predecessors during their trips to Turkey, Pope Leo does not plan to visit the nearby Hagia Sophia. Julia, why is that?
Well, the Hagia Sophia is actually the other big landmark here right across the Sultanahmet Mosque. The Pope did not go there because I think that has to do with the official status of the building, and for that I have to give you a little bit of history. The Hagia Sophia was built in the 6th century during Byzantine times. For centuries it was Christendom's largest church, but then in 1453, when the Ottomans conquered Constantinople, it became a mosque, and in 1935 it was turned into a museum. So previous popes actually visited the site when it was still a museum, but in 2020 President Erdogan and his Islamic-rooted AKP, they converted the Hagia Sophia back into a mosque, a move that got applause here within the country from Erdogan's religious supporters, but it drew criticism from abroad. Pope Francis back then said he was, quote, saddened by the decision, and I think the Vatican did not want to send the signal that they have somehow accepted or normalized the fact that this landmark is now a mosque again.
This is day 3 of the Pope's visit to Turkey. He will head to Lebanon on Sunday for the second and final leg of his trip. What else are we going to see today?
Well, Pope Leo is going to continue his day with a number of ecumenical activities. He visited the Syriac Orthodox Church here in Istanbul. He will also be meeting again with Patriarch Bartholomew, the spiritual leader of the world's Orthodox Christians. They are expected to sign a joint declaration, and I think that's become clear in the last days that they are trying to signal rapprochement between the Catholic and Orthodox churches. And then later this afternoon, Pope Leo will celebrate a public Mass, a Catholic Mass at an event venue here in Istanbul. They're expecting some 4,000 Catholics and many other people, so I think it's going to get quite crowded. And this is also interesting because it's a first for a Pope in Turkey to hold a public Mass Mass in such a big event location. As I mentioned, Turkey is a majority Muslim country with a very tiny Christian population.
DW correspondent Julia Hahn in Istanbul, thank you very much.